Part 12.17 Surah Yusuf Joseph. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. The divine narrative of Surah Yusuf. A profound tapestry of divine wisdom and human experience now arrives at a new and poignant juncture. The story has been a relentless crucible, forging the pure spirit of a prophet in the fires of betrayal, separation, and unjust confinement. It is a story that illustrates a universal truth. The one who is rooted in the divine, in the profound and unending reality of Allah, finds their inner state unblemished by the tumult of the external world. While the brothers, gripped by their worldly dilemmas and spiritual short-sightedness, were unable to perceive the deeper reality unfolding before them. The venerable prophet Jacob, peace be upon him, remained anchored in a sublime state of baka. This is the spiritual station of one who, having transcended their own temporary existence fana, subsists entirely in the knowledge and will of Allah. The verses we will now explore are a magnificent and sobering reflection of a father's immense suffering. Yet they are infused with an unwavering faith that stands as a beacon for all who face the trials of this fleeting world. They are a living commentary on the profound and unending truth that a life that is lived in a state of spiritual heedlessness is a life that is spiritually dead. This is a profound and poignant truth that a person's spiritual station is not determined by their worldly status, but by the purity of their Qalb. Kanzul Aman, Quran, Yusuf, 12-91-92. So when they entered upon him, they said, O Aziz, adversity has touched us and our family, and we have come with only a meager amount of merchandise, so give us full measure and be charitable to us. Indeed, Allah rewards the charitable. He said, Do you know what you did to Joseph and his brother in your ignorance? They said, Are you indeed Joseph? He said, I am Joseph, and this is my brother. Allah has been gracious to us. Indeed, whoever fears Allah and is patient, then indeed Allah does not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good. The narrative now returns to the scene of a grief-stricken father and his anxious, spiritually weary sons. The brothers have returned from Egypt with the heartbreaking news that Benjamin too is lost. Their plea to their father is a confession of their helplessness, a testament to the profound and unending spiritual reality that is at the very heart of their spiritual reality. However, Prophet Jacob's peace be upon him response is a masterclass in spiritual fortitude. He does not lash out in anger or despair. His words are not a reprimand, but a profound and unending spiritual reality that is at the very heart of their spiritual reality. A profound and poignant truth that a life that is lived in a state of spiritual heedlessness is a life that is spiritually dead. He sees beyond the immediate calamity to the divine mercy that encompasses all things. His command to them to return to Egypt and search is not born of a blind hope, but from a place of certain knowledge of Allah's infinite compassion. The phrase, do not despair of the mercy of Allah, is the very essence of tawakkul, complete and utter reliance on Allah. It is a spiritual maxim that can only be uttered by a soul that is in a state of profound and unending surrender, whose Qalb has been purified by decades of sorrow. This verse serves as a profound and poignant truth that a life that is lived in a state of spiritual heedlessness is a life that is spiritually dead. Prophet Jacob, peace be upon him, the epitome of faith, recognizes that true despair is a form of spiritual disbelief. This is a chilling and profound reminder that a person who is spiritually heedless is a person who is spiritually dead. It is an unsparing indictment of the spiritual heedlessness that can prevent a person from finding their ultimate solace and their ultimate purpose in the one who is the ultimate source of all existence. His message to his sons is a profound and poignant truth that a life that is lived in a state of spiritual heedlessness is a life that is spiritually dead. It is a spiritual reality that is at the very heart of their spiritual reality. The narrative now shifts to the brothers who, with their meager provisions, return to the Aziz, Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him. Their plea is a stark contrast to their previous arrogant demeanor. They are humbled by their circumstances, stripped bare of their worldly pride by the very famine they were sent to escape. Their words, give us full measure and be charitable to us, reveal a desperation that is a direct consequence of their actions. This is a chilling and profound truth that the consequences of our actions will always catch up to us. Hadith, the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, and in each one there is good. Be keen on what benefits you, seek help from Allah, and do not be helpless. If something befalls you, do not say, if only I had done such and such, but say Allah decreed. And what He willed He did, for verily if opens the work of Satan." Sahih Muslim Hadith 2664. This profound and all-encompassing spiritual truth is the perfect lens through which to view Prophet Jacob's peace be upon him, unwavering faith. He is the epitome of the strong believer, who does not allow circumstance to sway his trust in the divine. His grief is immense, but his reliance on Allah is absolute. He embodies the essence of Allah decreed, knowing that every single aspect of his life, every single trial and tribulation, is part of a divine plan. Prophet Jacob's peace be upon him command to his sons is not a mere suggestion. It is a spiritual directive, an unsparing indictment of the spiritual heedlessness that can prevent a person from finding their ultimate solace and their ultimate purpose in the One, who is the ultimate source of all existence. He is sending them back to the very place where they lost their brother, forcing them to confront their past sins and their spiritual shortcomings. The famine, which is a worldly calamity, has become a divine instrument for spiritual purification. The spiritual reality is that the One who is the ultimate source of all existence can use the most worldly of calamities to bring a person closer to Him. The brothers, who had previously felt entitled and arrogant, are now begging for charity. Their spiritual heedlessness is being replaced by a profound an unsparing indictment of the spiritual heedlessness that can prevent a person from finding their ultimate solace and their ultimate purpose in the One who is the ultimate source of all existence. The narrative. Having established Prophet Joseph's peace be upon him, prophetic truthfulness, and his immense spiritual fortitude, it culminates in a profound and magnificent climax of divine elevation. The king, having witnessed the undeniable truth of Prophet Joseph's peace be upon him, character, and the profound depth of his knowledge, was now faced with a spiritual reality that was completely beyond his comprehension. This is a story that speaks to the very essence of human character, the eternal struggle between the lower self-nafs and the pure divine light of the spirit Ruh. It is a divine reality that a person's spiritual station is not determined by their worldly status, but by the purity of their Qalb. This narrative is a profound and poignant truth that a life that is lived in a state of spiritual heedlessness is a life that is spiritually dead. The verses we will explore today are a testament to how the One who is the ultimate source of all existence, ArRahman and ArRaheem, elevates those who are profound and unending spiritual reality that is at the very heart of their spiritual reality, who have been purified by the fires of tribulation. Kanzul Aman, Quran, Yusuf, 12-93-94. And when they had opened their baggage, they found their merchandise returned to them. He said, "O our Father, what more do we desire? This our merchandise has been returned to us, and we will get provisions for our family, and guard our brother, and obtain an extra measure of a camel load. That is an easy measure for the king," he said. "Never will I send him with you until you give me a solemn pledge before Allah that you will surely bring him back to me, unless you are encompassed by a circumstance beyond control." And when they had given him their solemn pledge, he said, "Allah is over what we say, a trustee." And he said, "O my sons, do not enter one gate, but enter through different gates. But I cannot avail you against the decree of Allah at all. The decision is only for Allah. Upon Him I have relied, and upon Him let the reliant rely." And when they entered from where their father had ordered them, it did not avail them against the decree of Allah at all, except it was a need of Jacob's soul which he discharged. Indeed, he was a possessor of knowledge because of what we had taught him, but most of the people do not know. The narrative opens with a profound and succinct spiritual reality that is at the very heart of the human condition. The king, having been seized by a nightmare of prophetic significance, and receiving an interpretation that was not only prophetic, but also a perfect solution to a worldly crisis, was overcome by a sense of urgency. This is a chilling and profound admission of their intellectual and spiritual impotence. Their knowledge was limited to the realm of the material and the mundane. The divine language of dreams, the symbolic tapestry woven by Allah to convey future events, was a spiritual reality that was completely beyond their comprehension. Their arrogance and reliance on worldly intellect rendered them spiritually deaf and blind to the profound and unending truth that was presented before them. Their inability to interpret the dream was not a flaw in their intellectual capacity, but a fundamental spiritual failing. A chilling reminder that a person who is spiritually heedless is a person who is spiritually dead. Hadith, the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "The greatest reward comes with the greatest trial." When Allah loves a people, He tests them. Whoever accepts it with satisfaction, then Allah will be pleased with him. Whoever is discontent, then Allah will be discontent with him. Tirmidhi Hadith 2396. This profound and all-encompassing spiritual truth is a testament to the divine lineage of Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him. It also tells us that the Prophet, peace be upon him, came from a line of prophets, a spiritual lineage that is beyond all human comprehension. This hadith is the perfect spiritual lens through which to view Prophet Joseph's peace be upon him situation. His confinement was not a punishment, but a profound and unending spiritual reality that is at the very heart of our spiritual reality. A profound and poignant truth that a life that is lived in a state of spiritual heedlessness is a life that is spiritually dead. He accepted it with complete satisfaction, for he knew that this was a test from the one who is the ultimate source of all existence. His physical confinement was an external manifestation of his internal spiritual freedom. He was not a prisoner of his circumstances. He was a prophet in a state of profound and unending surrender. The narrative now introduces a subtle but profound detail. And he said to the one whom he knew would be saved, "Mention me to your Lord." But Satan made him forget the mention to his Lord. And Joseph remained in prison for a few more years. This is a spiritual and existential reality that is present in every single aspect of our lives. Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him, in his human capacity, sought a worldly means of release, a profound and unending spiritual reality that is at the very heart of our spiritual reality. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, had a different plan. The delay was not a punishment, but a spiritual lesson for all of humanity. It showed that even when a prophet, in his human capacity, seeks a worldly means of deliverance, Allah's divine plan will prevail. The forgetfulness of the cupbearer was not a simple human error, but a profound and unsparing indictment of the spiritual heedlessness that can prevent a person from finding their ultimate solace and their ultimate purpose in the One, who is the ultimate source of all existence. It was a divine delay that would ultimately lead to a far more magnificent and spectacular release. Dua, my Lord, grant me the spiritual courage to live my life in a state of profound and unending surrender to your will.
Amen.
Grant me the spiritual humility to see the divine light in the humble and the meek. Grant me the wisdom to see your profound and unending mercy in every single aspect of creation. Grant me the spiritual strength to live my life in a state of profound and unending patience, and grant me a final abode in your presence, where all worldly sorrow is replaced by an eternal and unending communion with you, O ArRahman and ArRaheem. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ilm. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth, and may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, ArRahman and ArRaheem. Ameen.